What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today we're bringing back Micromobs, and I haven't made a new Micromob since October of 2013, and reason being is it was just before Minecon in October, and I was making all kinds of Micromobs to give out to popular YouTubers there because me being a YouTuber, I know how difficult it is to provide daily content, and they do it so well and in such an entertaining and professional fashion that honestly, I just wanted to kind of give a nice big salute to each and every one of them, and that's why I brought custom Micromobs to give to them, because it's just not easy doing what they do, entertaining people on a daily basis. It's not an easy job, so I understood that and wanted to just kind of like give my thanks. Because if you guys don't know, I'm a fan of them too. I watch their videos too. I actually listen to their, I kind of listen to more videos than I do watch them because I'm always painting figures such as these. But yeah, that's why I haven't made a Micromob since October, because I made like 10 Micromobs right before Minecon. It was, I think it might have been more than 10, and it was, no, I think it was exactly 10 actually. And it was just, it took such a toll on my creative vision for Micromobs that I felt burnt out on them, and I just did not want to make any more for that time period. I knew I would come back to it like I am now, but I just had to stop, because that's also one of the many reasons I don't sell my figures. Is not only do they take so long to make, but when I make multiples of them, it just takes a huge, massive toll on my creative vision for what it is I'm trying to attempt, and that's why you haven't seen Micromobs for quite a while, because this is my hobby, and I just kind of do things the way I do it. But yeah, so for this video, we've got Notch and a Steve Micromob, and Steve is obviously in diamond armor. And these obviously aren't the most complex Micromobs ever, but I mean, I still wanted to have more of a classic tone for walking back into Micromobs and making them again. Obviously, we'll go back to making YouTubers very soon, but I just kind of wanted to bring back Micromobs with a classic feel. And also, you might notice in the background, we've got the Wither, and this is the first time I've attempted a boss Micromob, and this is actually the second design that I've had for the Wither, and I just finally pulled him out of a drawer and finally decided to finish him up, make these two guys to go with it, and here we are at a new Micromobs showcase video in 2014. So, pretty exciting stuff. Let's dive into it. Now, you guys probably remember Micromobs, there really isn't a whole lot to go over with them, but I should probably mention this is actually the second version that I've made of Notch, and that's simply because last year I actually had a Mojang Edition Micromob showcase video planned where I was going to have Notch, Jeb, Minecraft Chick, and a ton of other popular Mojang employees in one Micromob showcase video, but it didn't pan out, and the Notch that I already had made for that video got lost while we were moving, and it just didn't pan out. So, this is actually the second version that you're seeing of my Notch Micromob. But you can see he does have his signature beard right there with the white stripe running through it for his mouth, with his signature two little dotted eyes, and then you have the detail continuing onto the main brown brick there for his shirt, and along with a couple of red pixels as we see on his skin in the actual game. And then on the back you have his Mojang cape, and that is something that is easily the most challenging part about making Mojang employees, is the Mojang apple that they have, and it's definitely pretty challenging to make that, I would say, but it's still pretty fun, especially when you see the final result there, and it definitely looks pretty great. But I mean, other than that, that's the Micromob of Notch himself, the creator of the game that made all of this possible, and that pretty much is like the George Lucas of our lives in video game sense, because honestly, without Minecraft, I don't know what I would do when I just, have free time, because literally, I think tonight when I just was waiting for my family to quiet down to record, I was just playing Minecraft, because Minecraft is just that type of thing for me anyway, and Minecraft is a big part of our lives. So to finally make Notch himself was definitely quite a privilege for me, and I'm glad I finally did. And now, like I said, I wanted to bring Micromobs back with more of a classic feel, and that's why I decided Notch would be definitely the most appropriate for that, along with a standard diamond armor Steve, which we will get to right now. And we've got our second and last, normal scale Micromob for this showcase video. And don't worry, because usually when I have 5 Micromobs in a showcase video, you don't see a giant Wither boss. So I think the Wither boss will definitely make up for the 3 Micromobs absent from this video. But yeah, so this is pretty much a much more basic version of Steve. It's just a diamond armored Steve. And what I did was I took Lego's basic Steve. I swapped out the main 1x1 brick with a 1x1 medium blue modified modified brick, which is obviously now, because it's a modified brick, it has a clip, which then allows me to give him a diamond sword, and it's just a basic knife piece that we've seen used on the zombie pigman. And if you remember when I reviewed that set, I said that I never really was fond of using the actual sword piece for for Micromobs, but when I saw the LEGO group was okay with it, then I figured, why not? And therefore I took it upon myself, and I've made a little diamond sword for the diamond armored Steve here. And he also has he actually has hair, and that's something I really wanted to add to Steve here, is because it's kind of absent from the actual Steve Micromob. In the official set is Steve's hair, so I wanted to paint that on there, and you can see it. That's what I've done here. But I mean, for the most part though, it's a very basic Micromob, and there really isn't a whole lot of detail at all on the main torso part. But I thought that taking the normal blue color that we see with Steve and then swapping it out for a medium blue kind of conveys the whole diamond look to it, and therefore I also have a 1x1 medium blue tile on top there for his helmet to bring that point across there that he is wearing a full set of diamond armor. And it is definitely, I'm pretty happy with it. And like I said, when bringing back Micromobs after so long, I kind of want to bring it back with a nice classic feel, and therefore I've got Notch and the diamond armored Steve to go up against the Wither boss, and before we move on to more Minecraft YouTubers in the future. But I mean, yeah guys, so once again, not once again, but I want to mention, do you guys like this new setup? Because I could definitely keep it. It's actually of my own micro world in the background while I've got my standard base, and I mean, I could keep this layout, but I mean, I could also change it if you guys would prefer I revert back to the other one, if you guys even still remember it. But yeah, let me know what you think about the layout for Micromobs in the comment section below. But yeah, so there is Notch and the diamond armored Steve Micromob. So let's go ahead and move on to the Wither boss. Alright, and here he is, the Wither boss, the worst mob you can face in vanilla Minecraft. That is, if you want to face it, given that you have to build this guy by yourself in the game to face off against it. But, I mean, the Wither boss, here it is, and I'm really excited for this one. And, I mean, I wanted to bring back, I decided that now would probably be the best time to bring in any sort of boss Micromob, because, well, I haven't made Micromobs since October, as I've already mentioned, and I wanted to bring Micromobs back with some sort of bang, and I thought that bang could be brought in with the Wither boss and having him here for this video. But yeah, so something you might notice right off the bat with the Wither is that he's not completely to scale with other Micromobs, and that is unfortunately something that had to be slightly sacrificed if I were to keep the main characteristics of the Wither boss. And what I really like about the Wither boss is what I really aimed for with the Wither boss is that I wanted to still keep it accurate while trying to keep it as small as possible. But when I kept trying to, I scaled this down as much as I could, but if I were to go any further, these two heads would be too close to the primary head. You wouldn't have, there would only be 2 rods in the center when there really should always be 3. The tail would be too short, things like that just wouldn't have made it look, it wouldn't have looked right if I were to go that route. So I decided that I would, just jeopardize the scale ever so slightly so that it would still look just like the Wither boss that we all know and love, actually hate whenever we spawn it in the game. But I mean, yeah, now something else that kind of sucks here is that the primary head is actually locked in place. Now in game, when you're fighting the Wither boss, the primary head is always the one that looks at the player, while the 2 secondary heads never actually really move. And that's actually the opposite. It's actually the opposite case here, because the 2 secondary heads can rotate a full 360, while unfortunately the center one is locked in place. And that's only because I wanted to keep the main body centered here, and the only way I could keep the main body centered if I were to use it would be if I were to use a 2x2 brick here, or 2x2 plate. And now that I have a 2x2 plate, there's only one thing I can do, and that is to fully lock the 3x3 Wither boss head in place. And that's what happened, and it's something that I'm not necessarily fond of, but once again, this is as small as I could get it, and this is about the only design that I eventually just settled on, because I went through a lot of designs with this, but I'm still really happy with it. Because you look at this, and this is the Wither boss. It has all of the Wither boss characteristics that you know from the actual mob, and that's what I was aiming for with this. It's recognizable as the Wither boss, and like I said, that's what I was going for. So I'm definitely pretty happy with it, and it's a very basic design if you want to build this yourself by any chance. I mean, I've pretty much tried to give you every angle that I could. It's a fairly simple design, but I still think it's the most effective out of all the ones I went through in LDD to make this. But you might also notice I have all of the eyes and mouths respectively placed on all 3 heads, and while that wasn't the most complicated part of designing the Wither or making the Wither, it's still something I should probably address given that they are on the mob here. But yeah, biggest Micromob to date, because obviously it is the worst and the baddest mob in the game. So, I mean, yeah, there is the Wither boss. Now, I can't guarantee an Ender Dragon, given that LEGO is already making an official Ender Dragon micro mob, but regardless, I wanted to make my own Wither here, so that is what I did to bring back the micro mobs in a great way here. So, other than that, guys, that's it for the Wither boss, and that's it for this showcase video. So, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Notch! Thank Notch you're here. So, are you gonna slash kill the Wither, or...
What? No. You're the one with the arms, kid. I'm just here to watch.
Okay. Alright guys, so that pretty much marks the return of the Micromobs, and I hope you are as excited as I am, and if you are, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion in the comments, as both definitely mean a lot to me and definitely go a long way. And don't forget to also include in your comments what YouTuber you'd like to see made into a Micromob form, because now, last year I pretty much made all the mobs that are in the game, so now it's really just a lot of YouTubers that I'm making for this series. Personally, I want to make the Achievement Hunter team, but if you guys think otherwise, definitely let me know so I don't make them, if you don't want me to, in the comments below, because the way it worked last year, and I think the way it's going to work this time, is my Micromob series, the way it's going to continue is going to be based on what you guys want to see made next, so whatever name I see pop up the most is what I make, and that's pretty much the way it has worked and the way it will work from here on out before we make the transition into the minifig scale series of sets, which will be later this year. But for now, I'm going to be making some Micromobs before LEGO releases those, and I start making minifig scale Minecraft figures, as it's going to be pretty exciting to do that as well this year. But I mean, we also have the End Micro World, which I'm really looking forward to reviewing for you guys when that comes out, and that's probably, and honestly, personally, I think that'll be the last Micro World set. Hopefully not, but I mean, if it is, I'm still going to be excited to make minifig scale Micromobs from that point forward. But regardless, guys, that's it for this video, and I will catch you later. All right.
Bye!
Micromobs, and it has been over October of last year that I was making any Micromobs. As you guys remember, there is not you know, like this main area here.